I think the reason why you should be involved is quite simply because that's the way our system works. You just can't sit on your couch and expect things to get better or even worse, without your involvement. So for me, I decided to be a part of it because I care about the future of my country and I care about getting back to what our founders intended and following the Constitution, and that's why I'm involved in the California Republican Assembly, trying to build the grassroots and to get strong constitutional conservatives elected to office. For me, it's probably more just general frustration with where our state is headed. As you know, of how California is probably just a few months away from bankruptcy practically, and there are good Republicans up there trying to stop it, and there's probably some that aren't. But I'm part of it to just try to help get real constitutional conservatives elected to state and federal offices so that we can really put both our state government and then our federal government back on track towards following what our founders laid out and living by the Constitution.
People should join the Republican assemblies, even if they're involved in Republican organizations, because the Republican Assembly organization has the structure to keep the Republican Party honest. That's our job. That's why Ronald Reagan calls us the conscience of the Republican Party. So we keep Republican officials and their leadership's feet to the fire when it comes to the issues we care about.
Well, I've a long time been a member of the California Republican Party, CRP, and I realized that the elements of CRP were not always in the same realm of what I was looking for as my conservative values. I was a Ronald Reagan youth delegate in 1980, and so I'm a Ronald Reagan Republican, and I found my party was very broad, but I wanted something more, and so a friend of mine put me on to the CRA, California Republican Assembly, and it's great that I can find likewise conservatives in this group who believe with me morally, physically, in all manners that are true conservatives. And so the California Republican Party is, I guess, very broad by nature, but the CRA is made up of focused people like myself, like valued, and it's nice to know that I'm not alone. I'm not alone out there, that there are people with my values, conservative values, and that we can get together in friendship and also figure how to make the party more like we want it to be.
Is that we have a two-pronged approach. Not only do we want to elect conservative people into office, which is the goal of every Republican, Tea Party member, whatever organization you're part of. The difference is that we work, or at least take control of each county Republican Executive Committee. That's where the power is. And then through that, take over the state party apparatus in your particular state. If we do that in 26 states, we can now control the national party, the Republican National Committee. We can elect the national party chairman. We don't have to have Michael Steele. We can have Ken Blackwell. And that's where the difference is in our organization. We are uniquely set up to do that. And so I really encourage you to look into us. First thing to do, go to republicanassemblies.org, look at our website, hit the What We Believe link, because that's important. You need to know who we are about. We fit everybody's flavor of conservatism. And I believe conservatism is a three-stool to have a complete conservative, that there are some people who describe themselves separately. Nevertheless, no matter how you describe yourself as a conservative, we hit everything that you believe. So whoever we endorse, you can get behind that candidate and also become a part of the actual party apparatus. That's the important thing. So I encourage you to join the organization.
Well, my name's Ken Metler. I'm president of the California Republican Assembly, and we need the Republican assemblies more than ever. We have a structure. We understand inside politics. So for the activists that are out there that want to know what's the real way to be effective, get with your CRA, get with your Republican assemblies, because they understand how you affect policy. How do you get delegates to the conventions, and how do you retake the GOP, the Republican Party, back to conservative principles, fiscal and social. So we need you activists out there that want to get involved with the Republican Assembly. You can retake the Republican Party.
Well, I'm a member of a lot of the different groups in the country too. I'm on the Board of Governors of the Council for National Policy. I'm a life member of the National Rifle Association. I'm involved in a lot of different things, but I'm part of the National Federation of Republican Assemblies and have been almost since the beginning, because the National Federation of Republican Assemblies is the only organization in America that is dedicated to actually dealing with the problems within the Republican Party. We have a lot of problems in our party. We have a lot of people who are kind of the tail wagging the dog. Only 3% of Republicans self-identify liberal. 70% of Republicans self-identify conservative. And yet it seems like the leadership very often comes from the 3% and not the 70%. Only the NFRA is involved in the business of changing that around, putting conservatives in leadership positions within the party, and doing the sometimes difficult work of actual endorsements in party primaries. This is worthy work. It is essential work. If we're going to take back our party, and definitely our country too, it has to be done. I would encourage everybody to be involved in the NFRA. It's one of the most important things you can do to advance the movement and the cause.